Babylon is Damien Chazelle's spiritual follow-up to La La Land, except it's more on the public warning side and that it's a debauched trip into the Wild Wild West to 1920s Hollywood during the transition from silent films to the talkies. The movie follows this change through the eyes of our three main characters. First, there's Jack Conrad, played by Brad Pitt, a revered leading man of the silent era who, as we meet him, is very much in his comfort zone. We have Margot Robbie's instantly iconic Nellie Leroy, a wild child who, when we meet her, insists that although she hasn't actually been in a movie or isn't signed to a studio, that she's very much a star because you either are a star or you aren't. And then you have our audience avatar, Manny Torres, played in a star-making performance by Diego Calva. He's starting very much from the bottom of the hill, literally. When we meet him, he's shoving an elephant up a hill with tragic consequences as a stunt for an elaborate party that he's helping to organise. The film starts at 100 miles an hour with instant echoes of the likes of Wolf of Wall Street or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The cast are fully bought in, with Pitt tapping into some of the comedic beats of Lieutenant Aldo Rain and Cliff Booth, and Robbie borrowing heavily from her Harley Quinn energy to make this a thrill ride that makes you feel like you're dipping into the excessive drugstores of the Hollywood parties that it's giving you access to. Chazelle's movies never lack for style or charisma. It's a visually thrilling experience with every shot filled with hilarious hidden treats for anyone quick enough to catch them. And it's edited deliberately frenetic to help the movie zip by as it goes from thrilling set piece to set piece, allowing us to buy into these characters immediately. In very much the same way as Wolf of Wall Street, you'll probably find yourself and anyone else who's seen the movie, no doubt, kind of comparing notes on your favorite scenes. Personally, I like the extra shepherd scene myself, but if you like the elephant diversion, that's also fair. That makes particularly the first 2 hours an incredibly fun popcorn watch and cinematic experience. There was a lot of reaction and laughter throughout the screening when I was watching it. But this is an Oscar darling releasing a big budget star-led movie in January, so it's aiming to be more. With that in mind, the question then becomes, can it deliver on a substantial level and give us a plot that will take away beyond some shocking and hilarious scenes? As is so often the case with these 3-hour epics, it does have a back-end issue, and you sense that the show-stopping scene between Pitt and the magnificent Jean Smart is the film's spiritual ending, and subsequent rewatches, of which there probably will be for me, I may just call it a day with that scene. Without giving away any plot, though, specifically once Tobey Maguire shows up in the film, it takes a bit of a left turn, and not for the better. From there, it feels totally inconsistent with the 2 hours we previously sat through. Part of that is by design, I know, to show how this same Hollywood town isn't the one our characters were so familiar with. Intentional or not, though, the end result is that I completely disconnected with a movie that up until that point had really engaged me. And I think that sour taste is what's inspiring some of the overreactive negative reviews. Endings matter, and many can't look past the taste you leave in their mouths as they leave the cinema. For some, unfortunately, that taste will be a bit of puke. Because it all concludes with an end of movie montage that felt for me like a completely desperate attempt to curry favor with an academy that very much likes to be told how important what they do is. But in reality, lost all sight of the plot and characters we just spent 3 hours with in the process. And 3 hours is a lot of time to spend. If you tell me that I don't need to care about those 3 hours at the end of the movie, again, that's what's going to lead to a lot of people having a sour taste in their mouth. For me, though, that doesn't make it a bad movie. But this is 2/3 of a fun, interesting movie with the potential to go somewhere, followed by 1 hour of someone clinging to the hope that they'll go out and make something immortal, and in that sheer desperation, perhaps poetically, ensuring it will never be.